All right, welcome everyone. We'll start with the short White Tara practice as our motivation. Then we'll do the class, and then we'll finish with the longer, more elaborated White Tara practice to end, just like we did last time. So if you want to get yourself into meditation posture, nice straight back, settling into your space. And just take a few minutes to breathe or focus on any other physical sensation that feels grounding, maybe the soles of your feet. Just allow the body to arrive and settle. And refuge in bodhicitta. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. I take refuge until I'm enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my merits of generosity and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit transmigratory beings. So letting that connect, refresh and revive your refuge in bodhicitta, whether it's repeating the words of the prayer in your mind or touching the essence. And then visualize white Tara above your head or in front of you at the level of your forehead. Visualize long life nectar coming from Tara's heart. This blissful white light enters your crown and completely fills your body. Feel strongly and concentrate clearly that all your sicknesses, spirit harms, negative karmas, and obscurations are completely purified. And add the mantra to the visualization. Tare tutare ture mamayo punyanjana pushtum kuroye soha. Tare tutare ture mamaya punyanjana pushtum kuroye soha. Continuing to recite under your breath, together with the connection of nectar light, filling your body, purifying, soothing, healing. Om tari tutari turi mama ayu punyanjana pushtum kuriye soha. Feel that your life, merit, strength, qualities of understanding have increased. And Tara dissolves into light and absorbs into you, blessing your body, speech, and mind. And then dedicate thinking through the merits of this practice. May we quickly become white Tara and lead all living beings to her enlightened state. Okay. So last time we were talking about the basics. We were talking about the iconography. We were talking about the mantra. We were talking about long life deities in general. And today we're going to go into a bit more depth, and we're going to talk about what is it actually that we're trying to do with a practice like this, and really understanding that Tantra is kind of twofold. It depends on what you're practicing. So if you're doing Kriya Tantra, lower Tantra, like White Tara, the idea is that you're trying to increase your health and long life so that you can practice more deeply longer. And kind of implicit in that is so that you can practice highest yoga tantra and become enlightened in one brief lifetime of the degenerate age. So you're wanting to clear anything that blocks you from living out your full lifespan by doing a Kriya Tantra practice. Now, these lower tantra practices like White Tara, Green Tara, Medicine Buddha, Chenrezig, they also have very specific pranayama practices, lots of beautiful practices for increasing your ability to merge method and wisdom, for being able to merge calm abiding and special insight, and some really lovely meditations on emptiness that are multi-layered. And so there's a lot you can do with Kriya Tantra, and it will really hold you in good stead. So there's no reason to rush to highest yoga tantra if you're already in the mandala, you've already taken a first level tantra practice. Now, if you haven't taken any empowerments whatsoever, that's completely fine. This class is open. It's for people who are just curious and want to practice in a gentle way, as well as those of you who have been practicing a long time. But I just kind of wanted to flag that when you hear Tantra or Vajrayana in Tibetan Buddhism, there is kind of a peer pressure that death is coming, Tantra is rare, get highest yoga Tantra as soon as you can, and there can be kind of like a pressure, and I just wanted to kind of ease your mind that actually having a lower Tantra practice that doesn't necessarily have a daily recitation commitment is still extremely profound. You have Bodhisattva vows, you've been kind of invited into the mandala, it's huge. So just kind of taking that off of any kind of pressure you're putting on yourself. Once you have highest yoga tantra, there's a lot of things you're obliged to do. There's a lot of things you've promised to do. There's a lot of practice commitments that go along with that. And then when you don't do them, you feel full of guilt and shame, breaking your samayas, winding up in the Vajra hells, making the cause for your teacher to show the aspect of sickness and death and disconnection. I mean, it's just like super loaded, depending on the commentary you're looking at. And I just really recommend you take it slowly and gently. Once you're in, you can really start to study some of these preliminary ways of seeing yourself as the deity. The main reason for that being to overcome ordinary appearance and grasping. So it's powerful at this preliminary level. You with me? Yeah. Any questions about the levels of Tantra or the mechanisms that I'm talking about so far? I know that it's a mixed group. Some of you are really new and may have never heard these vocabulary words, and some of you have been learning them a long time. So if you're feeling lost, please make a gesture, a frantic gesture of some kind or an emoji. Okay. Um, okay. So last time we kind of left off really briefly talking about the part in the White Tara Sadhana where suddenly Amitayus appears and we're hooking back the life force. And we were talking a little bit about what does it mean to hook back the life force, and how does life force get lost, and what is it called, and all those kind of things. So I thought to do a little pivot there. So again, please, put your hand up if you want to ask any questions, but I'll just jump on into it. So we have Amityas. And when we have Amityas, often the question is, what is the difference between Amityas and Amitabha? Amityas here with crowns and accoutrement and all the deal, right? And Amitabha looking much more simple, much more monk-like. They are the same in essence. They are the head of the lotus family, the head of the lotus family of the five Buddha families. So their main job is to help us purify the attachment energy and to use the energy that accompanies attachment in a way that helps us develop discerning wisdom. So that's their theme and their vibe. They are one and the same in that context. But when you see in a sadhana practice, in a practice manual, Amityas, you know that the emphasis is on long life. And when you see Amitabha, you know the emphasis is on the bardo and beyond. So that's kind of a clear distinction in terms of practice. Amityas is the Sambhogakaya aspect. Amitabha is the Nirmanakaya aspect. Same, different emphasis for different purpose. Yeah. Okay. So in the sadhana, we have Amityas, hooking back the life force, which is on page 11 of the wish fulfilling wheel practice that we've been doing. And so in that section, there is this idea that you really zoom in on the long life vase that he's holding, which might be hard to see, right? It's just there in his lap, but it looks like this one in real life. So long life vases, tsebums, they are used in Tibetan Buddhist rituals, and it's believed to invoke the blessings of longevity deities like Amityas and like Tara, who are revered for their power to protect and extend life. The vase is traditionally filled with sacred substances such as herbs, grains, mantras, channeling divine energy to promote well-being and vitality. It's a powerful tool in ceremonies to overcome obstacles and invite auspicious blessings. Whether placed on an altar or in meditation, the long life vase represents a connection to spiritual vitality, offering protection and guiding one towards a balanced and harmonious life. So you do not need to get this accoutrement. You do not need to buy a long life vase. It's just to kind of know that this is what they are. If you see them at Dharma centers, they're most often used in a long life puja. In the other pujas, different kinds of vases are used. It's something to focus your mind on in the meditation, because this is where you're hooking the life force back into that then is spilling over into your whole system, right? So it's just kind of good to get a sense of the look of it. And if you can't get the details in your mind's eye, it's no big deal. Just have an idea that Amityas is holding this long life vase that has this traditional purposes and these traditional sort of substances on the inside of them. Okay. So the hooking back, the Tibetan vitality components regarding the four life forces are often listed as Hla, Lung, Lu, and Tang. And these four are often nurtured together in Tibetan healing and spiritual practices to maintain a healthy and balanced existence. So these words come up more frequently in Tibetan medicine than in Tantra, but they're implied in a lot of tantric texts, particularly ones to do with long life. So law is the one that is really being worked on in the Amityas section of the Sadhana. So Hla, the essence or protective energy, relates to the spiritual or protective force, often associated with a protective deity or energy that sits at the crown of the head. It can disperse or get lost through various afflictions and traumas, and that's what we were talking about a little bit in an introductory way last week. You probably have heard also of Hlung, the wind or vital energy. This is the one that gets talked about more often, and this refers to the life-forced wind or subtle energy that flows through the body's channels, the tsa, and it can get congested. This is also called qi, like in Chinese medicine. So Lung gets congested, Hla gets lost. Okay, so just kind of easy ways to remember. Hla can get lost, Hlung can get congested. Lu is just the body and its physical strength and vitality. Tang is like power or vigor, and it often refers to the strength or capacity to sustain life and energy. So this is an interesting kind of system. It's similar to Ayurvedic medicine. It's similar to Chinese medicine. Tibetan medicine is very similar to those types. And there's also this pivot to what do you do in terms of practice with this information. So if we look at the Hua, this life force that can get lost, the main way it gets lost is through afflictions, right? If you're in a rage for a long time, it depletes you. If you're in an obsessive spiral and you're really attached for a long time, it depletes you. We have like experiential knowledge of that, yeah? Do you agree? Yeah. So it's not like a passing grump or a passing sort of like your mind is pulled towards something. It's when you've really nurtured an afflicted state of mind over a period of time, it really sucks the life out of you. Yeah, quite literally. But it can be retrieved. Thank goodness. It can be retrieved, right? Hence the Amityas, hence the White Tara. Hooray. Okay, so don't get depressed. But it's good to know because sometimes we have this weird kind of lethargy, kind of tiredness for no reason. Like we've been eating fine, we've been sleeping fine, we've been exercising enough, and yet, and you're like, oh, maybe I haven't gotten enough vitamin D. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I need to laugh more. I don't know. This just kind of like amorphous tired, but there's nothing wrong with you. You know that one? Yeah. And these kind of weird amorphous tired feelings that we get, it's like we could really use to get back some of that hla. And it's also important to think that we become vulnerable to loss of law during kind of scary times. Like if someone really startles you, like in a deep way, and you go, one of those big startles, a little bit of law is lost. Yeah. Like a car accident, lots of law could be lost. Not necessarily, but often. Yeah. If you've had a scary trauma in your past, some law can be lost, or it makes you vulnerable to, different kinds of psychic attacks and different kinds of spirit harm. And this is all from a Tibetan Buddhist perspective, right? So all of the things that psychology says about what happens after trauma, it's not in contradiction to that necessarily. It's just something to look at in parallel with what we know from science, what we know from psychology, what we know from neuroscience. You hold those all together in tandem and in collaboration. All right. So that's a good disclaimer time. Yeah. So keep going to your therapist, right? But it is kind of interesting to explore because we know if someone's had a really severe trauma, sometimes they just have a dip in energy and they have some sadness and they work it through therapy and they have some reactivity in their life and they gradually heal over time. And some people have psychosis arrive after their trauma, the same kind of trauma, right? We've seen this happen before. Yeah. You might even have people in your family sometimes with PTSD, right? Like someone's been to war, they come back from war, they have to work through all of the things that they've seen. It's heavy and hard, but they're also able to live a normal life-ish. They're still able to be competent enough, all of that kind of stuff, and healing is just gradual. And there could be the same soldier platoon, and there could be just his buddy right next to him saw the exact same things, and now he has psychosis, right? So why? Why the same trauma triggering two different responses? Of course, what they came in with karmically and what they came in terms of nature and nurture in this life apply, of course. And also, there could be more at work where the one that has psychosis might have been vulnerable to some psychic attack there because their law was kind of exposed or able to be lost because of the vulnerability that comes with trauma. So, this is kind of poignant and it can be kind of a triggering conversation, but the point of all of this is to say, but you can get it back. You can get it back. And is White Tara with Amityas plugged in there the only way you can get it back? No, there's lots of ways you can get the law back, okay? Some of it is just healed through good old love, nurturing, processing, all that kind of stuff, right? Solid friendships, solid family, solid connections. A lot of that can help you come back and bring back some life force. But sometimes we need some extra. Yeah, there's also practices in the Nyingma tradition very specific to this. There's some cool practices to do with magic labdron. There's some cool practices to do with namgyalma. So there's a lot of hooking back the life force specific practices. In this one, it's just one page. And the one page is lovely. It's short and sweet, and then you keep going and you're creating more causes for a long life. So it's like you want a long life that is also vital, right? You don't want a tired, heavy, long life. You want a bouncy, energetic, vital, long life. So hence the plug of Amityas. Any thoughts or questions so far? Much to take in. Yeah,
Um,
Jan, go ahead.
Venerable, I don't actually have a clear idea of what hooking back means. Is it in relationship to La? Is it, I mean, when we hook back, when that process occurs, we're actually bringing what has been lost forward?
Yeah, and back in. Do you remember the white tar practice we did last week?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, I missed last week, so.
Ah, okay.
But I
That one.
did White
Yeah.
Tara with you prior, so.
Okay. Yeah, it's just that page 11
Yeah.
and we'll go through it in just a second. But yeah, you're quite literally calling that back into the vase of Amityas. It spills over then into your crown and fills you back up. And it's like
Okay.
yeah, and Amityas is the facilitator of that whole process. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Clarifies it for sure.
Oh, good. Good. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Yeah, Barry, go ahead.
Who is Amityas, or the myth or the story of Amityas? I see the image and I try to picture it, but can you say a little bit about Amityas?
Barry, you're putting me on the spot. I don't have one that comes to the tip of my tongue. He's our helper for long life. Amitabha is our helper for Bardo and beyond. I haven't spent a lot of time with Amityas. Ask me about Chenrezig. I have all sorts of things to say.
I'll Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Google it. Use a good Google, right? Use like the Berzin website, Study Buddhism, or the Himalaya Art website sometimes has cool stuff. They talk about Amitabha and Amityas a lot in the Pure Land tradition. We don't actually talk about him that much in the Tibetan tradition. He just kind of gets brief airtime together with other practices, and then sometimes if you do POA, which is the transference of consciousness at the time of death.
Okay,
So,
thank you. Stories
yeah.
help me, so thank you.
Yeah, I love a story. I love a story. Don't have one on the tip of my head. Does anyone else have an Amitabha story or Amitaya story on the tip of their tongue? Yeah, not a lot of it doesn't get a lot of airtime in our tradition. Sorry about that, Barry, but I can flag it for something to research to bring back next week. It's a
Okay.
good question. Good question. Yeah, Jai, go ahead.
There we go. Okay, just to clarify, um, is Amitabha actually Avalokiteshvara or not? I have that
I mean,
confused.
I mean,
Okay,
no,
okay,
but
okay.
yes, but no, but yes.
Oh, thank you
The
for
reason you might
clarifying.
the reason you might think that, and I'm guessing there's a lot of reasons why you might think that, is that Avalokiteshvara Chenrezig has an Amitabha on the crown of his head in the 11 faced version, right? The thousand
Right.
armed Chenrezig, he's got an Amitaya plunked up there. The reason for that is that Chenrezig belongs to the Amitabha Buddha family. Yeah. And so in that context, he's representing his root guru. So
Okay.
the five Buddha families each have a head. Yeah, and the head of each family has a very specific color. It's related to a specific element. It's related to a specific purification of delusion, a specific wisdom that's invoked, a time of day, a direction. So these five Buddha families keep coming up again and again. And it's a really cool topic to dive into. I've got a summary explanation on my YouTube channel if you ever want to check it out, or a chart I could send Sheila. But basically, when we're talking about Amitabha or Amitayas Buddha family, we're talking about the Lotus family, which explicitly is emphasizing the purification of attachment and is explicitly helping you generate discriminating wisdom. So it's helping with all the others as well, but its emphasis is that. Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you.
white Tara is also in the lotus family, just like Chenrezig is. Yeah. Jiryu, go ahead.
Yeah, just in terms of the relationship to Pure Land Buddhism, like is the like is it similar to that? So, Amitabha's Pure Land, you need only recite his name to be reborn there. And essentially it's a very universal practice, doesn't require monasticism, but just takes you to a place where it's easier to be reborn from that pure land into your next life where you can realize yourself. Um, and the other part of that, right, is that you are only born as a man in that pure land. There are
All
no
of this
women
is
in that.
nonsense. No, 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 go
Okay.
back. No, nonsense. I don't know where you're getting your information. The Pure Land tradition is beautiful. The Pure Land
Yeah.
tradition is amazing, and they do practice Amitabha very heavily, and they very much do emphasize getting into Amitabha's Pure Land. Now, can you get into Amitabha's Pure Land simply ish terms and conditions apply? Right. Yes, if you've created lots of causes in your life through generosity and ethics. Yes, if at the time of death, when you're thinking of Amitabha, it's very much about refuge in bodhicitta and not about panic. Stuff. It's an incredibly powerful practice, and it is absolutely worth doing if you'd like to be reborn in a pure land where you will continue to do work on the spiritual path. It's described as kind of like a really ideal retreat center where you have all of the resources you need to finish your path. So it's not like you get enlightened upon rebirth, it's that you still have lots of work to do, but everything is conducive for your practice, which could be the case right now in this exact moment that everything is perfect for your practice. So it's all how you look at it. You bring your same mind with you everywhere. Okay, like that. Do you need to be reborn as a man in order to become enlightened? No, nonsense. Yes, and the people that say so have misunderstood. And the Buddha himself, many times, talked about the equality of men and women. So that is a
No,
misunderstanding.
no. Yeah, I'm just saying that if you're reborn in that pure land, then you would be
No,
born there as a
no,
man.
no, there are girls in Amitabha's Pure Land.
Okay.
I don't know what you're reading. We have to talk about it later.
No, but there is one, Akshobhya. You can be born as a woman there
You
without
can
any
be
pain.
reborn as a woman anywhere, dude. Don't get
Um,
weird.
yeah. No. Okay, so it is related then.
It's a very different practice, to be honest. It's the
Yeah.
same deity with very similar qualities. We touch on some similar sutras, and we use other sutras that are different than the sutras they're using.
Okay.
So the Poa practice, like the Bardo practices, are similar from the Pure Land tradition to Mahayana Tibetan Buddhism. There's some similarities there, but in terms of the daily life practice of a regular practitioner, they would look really different. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, theirs is a lot more about building karmic connection and really doing a lot of prayer and devotional type of merit making, which is really beautiful and really effective. And the idea is that you're planting lots and lots of karmic seeds for a positive rebirth. From a Tibetan Buddhist perspective, the cause of a perfect human rebirth is ethics, generosity, and stainless aspirational prayers. So it's less kind of specific to having done this prayer or that prayer. It's just live a very good life. And at the time of death, awaken those seeds by wanting to awaken those seeds. Just in your heart, think, may I take a rebirth that's conducive for continuing the spiritual path in order to benefit others. And you just have a prayer or a frame or a mantra that really works for you that acts as a touchstone. Um, so it's a lot more diverse, probably in Tibetan Buddhism. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's really worth going to Pure Land tradition, like after death practice. If you can go to one of those, it's really interesting and really cool. They get great work done. Yeah. It's their wheelhouse. Yeah. Bardo prayers.
Mm.
So here we're talking about long life. And when
There's a couple more questions in the chat. You want to wait until?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Let's see. Oh,
Can you
Tara is
see there's one
saying,
from Tara and one from Mary Camille?
I don't see the one from Mary. Can you read it
Okay.
out?
Okay, the one from Mary says, can you get that Buddha family chart? Oh, that she was talking about. I guess that's for me.
Ah, it's right
Okay.
here.
But the other one from Tara, do you see that one?
Yes, yes, I do. She says, what is a psychic attack in the Buddhist tradition? I've heard this term often and not sure what it means. Um, First, I don't want to make you paranoid, right? Like, don't be paranoid. If you're feeling like there is beings around that you cannot see, whatever you want to call them, whether they're hungry ghosts or spirits or bardo beings or smell eaters or whatever you want to call them, they are still sentient beings. Like people are sentient beings, like animals are sentient beings, and all sentient beings just want happiness and don't want to suffer. So if you're feeling like there's something around, just send it compassion and shift your attention away. Yeah, don't feed it. Don't talk to it. I mean, don't feed it in terms of thinking about it too much. Don't feed the thoughts about it. Don't get yourself paranoid. Just wish them well and turn your attention elsewhere. Okay, that's the baseline pervasive advice about spirit beings. Okay. Now, if you're feeling like there is something on the land regularly or something in your house regularly, there's lots of practices you can do to purify and clear and stuff like that. But when we're talking about psychic attacks, those things, it's like you've created the cause for it to happen in some past life through really intentional harm. Like you really were out to get somebody in the past. And now that person is reborn as a spirit and they're around you and they do not wish you well. And that is a really poignant situation, but it's not totally unlike someone who just doesn't like you for any reason in this life who's a human, right? Have you ever had a random coworker who just like doesn't like you? You never did anything to do anything to hurt them. You were never rude to them, but just for whatever reason, you're not their cup of tea. Obviously, there's some old karma between you. So the same is true of beings in the spirit realm. We have karma with all sorts of beings in the spirit realm. And we're really only vulnerable to a psychic attack if we are in kind of active trauma, if we are in active danger, or if we're doing kind of weird practices that are beyond our capability and our understanding related to worldly protector deities. And so one of the big reasons that His Holiness has said not to do the protector practice related to Shugden is that it actually creates this kind of vulnerability to a psychic attack. And you might have immediate wealth as a result of practicing this deity, but then later, really bad things happen. So it's something that we don't talk about tons because it's actually not that common. And even if you had like a bad car accident and you're vulnerable to law being lost, it's not inevitable that it will be, especially if you're doing things that are in alignment with your spiritual path. Like, say you have a car accident, it's really scary. You're mad at the person who hit you, but then you think, oh no, they're scared too. Let's exchange insurance information. And you start to kind of settle your nervous system and start to calm down. You're probably not that vulnerable to a psychic attack. Yeah. But you might know people in your life who it seems like they keep having hard, dramatic things happen. And then after the hard, dramatic thing, it seems harder than for most people. And their response to it seems a lot more complicated. And their mental health seems a lot more tangled and difficult. And that might be someone who's experiencing some spirit harm of some kind. And there's lots of practices you can do to help protect them. But the main one is just to love them lots. Yeah. If you just love them and love them, this is our best practice, come what may. Yeah. So you can do all the ritual stuff and all the smells and bells, but that also only works if it's with the right motivation. So you don't have to be a professional in Tibetan Buddhist ritual to help someone heal their heart. Yeah, you just have to love them. Yeah, together with skillful means. Yeah. So it's probably not a very satisfying answer about spirit attacks or psychic attacks, but I don't want us to get paranoid or too worried about it. Like sometimes we do have an intuition or some kind of feeling, and it's like it's not particularly useful to go there. Yeah, it just wish them well, shift your focus. How does that sit with you guys? Is anyone feeling a big reaction? Yeah, oh good, Tara says it helps. Yeah. Is anyone going, oh my gosh, this Tibetan Buddhism is far out, you weird pagans? I don't know what you're up to. I just came here for philosophy class and now we're off on these tangents. We could do Madhyamaka instead. We could pivot, so let me know. But anyway, we're in the magical, mystical realm. It's just happened what to do. Yeah. So one thing that is really important to flag is that this White Tara practice you can also do on behalf of someone else. Yeah, you can do on behalf of a vulnerable person. So if you yourself are, you're wanting good vitality, you're wanting long life so that you can practice well for the benefit of sentient beings, that is a perfectly good reason to do White Tara practice. You could also do it because there's someone in your life who is really struggling, and you just place them as the recipient of the nectar overflowing from Amitayas's vase. Yeah, so let's look at that section together, and then we'll do some of the practice. All right, so on page 11 of the White Tara Wish Fulfilling Wheel, there's the section with all the mantra visualization. And then after that is this. At my crown is the Lord of the family, meaning the Lord of the Lotus family, the Amitabha Buddha family. Lord Amitayas, red in color, with one face and two arms, holding a golden vase filled with the nectar of immortality, in the gesture of meditative equipoise, clad in silk and jeweled ornaments, he sits in the Vajra position. So this is all indicating to us this is the Sambhogakaya aspect with the crown, with the flowing garments, etc. So you just take a minute and you stabilize. What does Amitayas look like? And if you can see him in all of his detail, that's wonderful. And if you just have a general impression of red, that's fine too. Yeah, the details come over time. You're just wanting somewhere that you're directing your attention mentally and some stability there with that visualization. Yeah. Okay, so you start to build the visualization, and then he's adorned at the heart with a red syllable Hri. That's a seed syllable, from which hook-like red rays of light emanate in all 10 directions. Right? So from his heart, the red syllable Hri, light going out. And hook-like, meaning the rays of light have little hooks on the end of them that are collecting back all of the life energies that have been robbed, stolen, or caused to be taken away, or scattered by human and non-human beings, as well as the essence of the 5 great elements, the life energies and merits of all living beings, and the brilliance and dignities of the 3 worlds, and so forth. So, this part here, the merits of all the life energies and merits of all living beings, this doesn't mean you're taking it from them. It's not like you suddenly become a succubus and you're like sucking their life force. Not like that at all. Not like that at all. So don't worry, that's not what's being indicated there. What it means is like equal to, right? The energy and merit equal to what other living beings have, and the brilliance and dignity of the 3 worlds. These desire, form, and formless realms, the 5 great elements, the classic 5 great elements. Basically, you don't have to think anything in particular all in this whole section other than the hook-like red rays of light, right? And that it's just hooking all of the life energies that have been robbed, stolen, or caused to be taken away. And this makes it sound like the energy that was lost is only ever been taken, when we need to remember that the energy that was lost is mainly because of our negative states of mind. Yeah, so kind of taking responsibility back, not like I'm the victim of circumstance. People keep taking my energy. Don't think in those terms. Think in terms of I have created the causes for this life force to be lost. Anytime I have like indulged in anger and I've indulged in attachment or indulged in pride, when those things have arisen and I've given in to them, that takes away my life force. Okay, so then all the wealth and goodness of existence and the blessings of the body, speech, and mind of the gurus, Buddha, and bodhisattvas are collected back in the form of nectar and rays of light in different colors and absorb into the vase in Amitayas's hand. Okay, so first it goes out, it's only red light going out with hooks, and then it comes back to you as the 5 colored lights. So generally we say blue, white, red, green, and yellow. But anyway, you can just think rainbow light. Rainbow light is coming and absorbing into the vase at Amitayas's hands. So again, just showing you that. I know some of you know this quite well, but just to zoom in there, that vase. So then all the rainbow lights going into the vase. Yeah. And it becomes so full that it overflows. Yeah. So it's hooking back and hooking back and hooking back. Yeah. So then by this absorption, the white nectar overflows and enters my crown opening, absorbing into the wheel, mantra, and seed syllable at my heart. So this part assumes that you have self-generated as white Tara, and you actually only self-generate as white Tara if you've had that specific empowerment. If you haven't had that specific empowerment, just think that she's facilitating that for you, and that's just getting absorbed into your body in a more general way rather than centralized as at the heart. Okay, so this is an important distinction for us to know whether we're tantric practitioners or not, or if we do any kind of teaching role, is that people without the empowerment shouldn't absorb anything into the heart center. Yeah, if anywhere in the sadhana it indicates that, think of it as a general absorption, like the rays of the sun, warming you, or between the 2 eyebrows. Yeah. So if you're leading a practice that's in a mixed group, make sure you flag that it's important that the people don't generate as the deity if they don't have the empowerment. And it's also important that they don't do things related to the heart center. This is mainly because they don't have the protection and blessings of the empowerment to protect them if they're getting lung at the heart center. Can create all sorts of obstacles as well. So it's best to just say general absorption for those without the empowerment. And you can describe, as I've described, kind of like the way the sun melts into you when you're outside on a sunny day. Okay, so it's overfilling. And it's just the white nectar, kind of think purified or condensed, or the pith, or, somehow all of that rainbow light has turned into this white nectar, then goes into the crown and absorbs in general, right? And then if you have the empowerment, it absorbs specifically into the wheel, mantra, and seed syllable. But for those of you without the empowerment, it's still going through the crown of the head, still absorbing into you, just in a general way. Because in a moment from that, it flows down and fills your entire body. You're basically just kind of skipping that part and going straight to fills the entire body. Does that make sense? Have I lost anybody there? Yeah. With empowerment, do as written. Without empowerment, do more general. Yeah. So, all right. So just to recap, red light going out as hooks, hooking back life force. Yeah, then it's coming back as rainbow light filling up. And then when it overfills, it's white light going into your crown. Yeah, red, then rainbow, then white. Yes, check. Good. Okay. Will you cause trouble if you do the wrong colors? No, don't worry about it. Just try your best. Ladan, go ahead.
I have a question. I didn't get it very well. When in the first time when you're imagining the wheel in the part of your heart, right?
If you
And
have the
then you have
empowerment,
to
yeah.
no, if you don't have to, you don't do that. You don't imagine in your heart center. That's it.
No, nothing in the heart center
Oh, I
without
didn't know that.
empowerment. Yeah, and it's okay if you have, and it's okay if you've been, doing things as if you were. It's just try to take the steps as the
Yeah.
lineage describes, because it really makes things go more efficiently without obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's saying the mantras,
Mm-hmm.
just kind of think that you are at the center of a giant white Tara. Yeah, there's like this giant white Tara, and you're just kind of in there, and she's doing this work, and there's those mantras at her heart, and you're kind of there in the center of it all, being protected and held in her gaze that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Um,
then when,
and then you can
sorry.
have a little Amitabha there. Yeah, even though you're at the center of her heart in amongst all those mantra wheels. And so
Mm-hmm.
it is a complicated visualization in White Tara.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the visualizations you see in highest yoga tantra, right? You
Uh-huh.
have all these layers of mantras, all standing up, all three-dimensional, all in the nature of light. And then you get the colors that go with them, right? All three-dimensional, standing up, made of
Mm-hmm.
light. And if you don't have the empowerment, just really feel like here where the whom is,
Mm-hmm.
right? And where the main mantra is, that this is at Tara's heart, but you are at Tara's heart here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
just kind of like be with that, right? And
Oh,
think that she's
okay.
really facilitating the whole process for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you don't have to go to details of all of this.
Look, it's very good for your concentration if you can, but if it stresses you out, just build it up very gradually.
Okay.
So really for us as beginners, a good place to start emphasizing detail is here at the
Mm-hmm.
rings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so just kind
Yeah.
of feeling that outside yourself
Yeah,
are
it
these
comes
rings.
easily.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
Yep. So that's a good place for everybody, whether empowered or not, to really zoom in terms of
Mm-hmm.
the visualization. Yeah. Yep. And the rest of it will come over time. Keep it all in the nature of light. Keep it all really spacious.
Yeah.
Don't squeeze your concentration. You're trying
And
to,
then
for
when
all the,
you,
sorry.
I'm sorry, when you just go to the emptiness because everything dissolve and at the like you imagine your consciousness in white and then you resolve all of that in light, you do it like you do it with everybody else as even you don't have the empowerment, right?
What page are you looking at?
It's not, I don't look at the page. I did it online with your YouTube
Mm,
channel, and at the end of all of that, you need to dissolve, I think.
yep,
So
this
you
part.
do it even if you don't have the empowerment at the end.
So here's where Ladan is talking. So there's you do your purification, you do your mistake clearing, you do the please reside in these images, and then it gets to here. So from the syllable at my heart or at Tara's heart, rays of light emanate. All the container and contain dissolve into light and absorb into the brownish circle. The 6 circles and protective wheel dissolve in stages from outer to inner. The protective wheel also dissolves into me, I into the wheel into the mantras, the rings into the tom, which dissolves by stages into emptiness. All of that is fine for everybody. It's just here, out of emptiness, I arise as the Lady
Yeah,
Tara. No, out of
yeah,
emptiness, she arises,
yeah,
marked at the crown with an om, the throat with an ah, the heart with a hum.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Yep, yep. Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, any comments, any parts that are particularly intriguing that you want to zoom in on next time? Yeah, Jay, go ahead.
This is not a complicated question, but something I still don't understand. What is the value of repeating? Like when you take refuge, that you repeat it 3 times. After all this time, I actually don't know. So if you could clarify, thank you.
Emphasis. Emphasis. Honestly, I know it's too simple an answer, but it is for emphasis. It's kind of like ready, set, go, right? It really is. And when people have asked my own teachers this question, that is what they say. You say it once, you're kind of priming. You say it again, you're aligning. You say it one more time, it sinks into your heart. Yeah. And so many things in Tibetan Buddhism have repetition And this is how things move from head to heart. This is how we accumulate merit. This is how we build depth and continuity. And repetition is really going to serve us well, because it's not like it's the same every repetition, even if it's the same words. Your relationship to it changes over time. So, yep, simple question, simple answer, and understandable question. Yep. Yeah, go ahead.
So
Follow
I've
up?
got another hopefully simple one. Okay.
Sure.
Which is, and this confuses me at times. Why do we say things in Tibetan, say rather than English? Yeah, that would be
Just
because
to
I don't
annoy you.
understand Tibetan.
To annoy you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Um, there's a lot of blessings in saying the words of your teachers as they said them. It's kind of like energetically riding the coattails or energetically going into the slipstream of the work that they have done. When there is tunes, often the tunes that accompany the Tibetan came from dakinis to meditators in practice, and so there's extra blessings, which really helps charge up your practice. There's all sorts of things about, neuroscience and, somatic stuff about how powerful it is to do chanting, particularly the mantras. And the mantras aren't Tibetan, the mantras are Sanskrit. Mantra's sacred sound came from the enlightened mind. So, of all of the things to say in not English, the only thing you really need to commit to is the mantra. If none of the rest of it you want to do in Tibetan, that's okay. That's your prerogative. But the mantras should really be done in Sanskrit with our Tibetan English accent messiness, right? Because it really does invite the blessings of the enlightened mind. And there's been all sorts of very cool studies about the power of Sanskrit mantras for people in meditation, whether Buddhist or not. It's really interesting to explore. So we do it in Tibetan for the blessings, is the short answer. We do it in connection and cohesion with the lineage. We do it because it makes the mind happy to chant, and you don't have to if you don't want to. How's that?
That's good. We're headed in the right direction. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? Good. Okay, we'll have a 5-minute break and then we'll come back and do the sadhana practice together. So when you come back, bring your mala beads with you if you have them, and I'll do share screen, so don't worry about the text. All right, see you in 5. Okay, so we'll, excuse me, we'll do the sadhana. So just take a minute and again reconnect with your physical experience. Letting the body settle into meditation posture, straight back. And before we start, letting yourself reflect on times that you have let the life force be lost through giving in to anger, giving in to attachment, giving in to ignorance, pride, and jealousy. Not just when these things have arisen, but when you've really let them be, even though you knew better. When they went unchallenged for a period of time. And really from your heart, asking the Guru deity, White Tara, and Amitayas, please help me to have a long life, full of vitality, bringing back all that was lost, so that I can have a long, long life, filled with vitality and meaning, full of purpose and joy, that benefits others. And when I pass away from this life, may I be able to pick up where I left off and continue the spiritual path in the deepest way, with joy and with focus. So just spend a moment in that framing mode. What would you like to hook back? What would you like going forward? And refuge 3 times. I and all living beings as extensive as space, from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus, take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas, take refuge in the holy Dharma, take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. I and all living beings as extensive as space, from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus, take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas, take refuge in the holy Dharma, take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. I and all living beings as extensive as space, from today on until the essence of enlightenment is achieved, take refuge in the glorious holy gurus, take refuge in the fully accomplished Buddhas, take refuge in the holy Dharma, take refuge in the Supreme Assembly. I take refuge in the Venerable Lady White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, and the complete entourage of deities. I prostrate and take refuge in the Holy Guru and the 3 precious jewels. Please bestow your blessings on my mind stream. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel. In order to attain the fully accomplished state of a Buddha for the sake of all living beings, I will enter into the sadhana of White Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel. Vajramritai Kundalini Hana Hana Be. Sawa Shuddha Sawa Dhamma Sawa Shuddho Out of emptiness, from 8 syllables, appear spacious and extensive jeweled vessels, inside of which the syllable transforms into differing offerent substances, which are clear, unobstructed, and as extensive as space. So visualizing water for washing, water for drinking, flowers, incense, light, perfume, food, and music, spreading out, multiplying in all directions. And with these garlands, they become clear, unobstructive, and as extensive as space, just as we visualized. Om Bhagyamai Om Bhadyamai Om Yupeyai Om Jupeyai Om Halakeyai Om Gandeya Om Nudeyai Om Shabdai And so adjusting, if you don't have the empowerment, instantaneously become Venerable Tara, or Tara at your crown, or yourself in the center of Tara. The syllable tum at Tara's heart emanates rays of light, inviting from her Patala abode in the Lady Tara, the wish-fulfilling wheel, surrounded by the assemblies of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to the space above. So think that the light invites all the other Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who come to what you visualized. All of them are in the aspect of White Tara. The light dissolves back into Tara's heart. Gods and asuras with their crowns, bow down to your lotus feet. I prostrate to Mother Tara, the one who rescues from all needs. And then making the offerings that were previously blessed. On Guru Arya Tare Sapare Wari Hai Gyam Padyam Yujpe Aduape Aloke Gyande Nude Shapta Pradisam Soha. I take refuge in the three jewels. I regret all my unwholesome deeds. I rejoice in the merit of all beings. I will hold bodhicitta until enlightenment. I take refuge until complete enlightenment in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. In order to fulfill the purpose of myself and others, I generate the mind of enlightenment. Having generated the mind of enlightenment, I invite all living beings as my guests. I will remain in this excellent conduct of the bodhisattvas. Thereby may I achieve the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all living beings. May all living beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. May all living beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all living beings be endowed with the happiness that is free from suffering. May all living beings remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment for those they hold close and aversion for those they keep distant. Meditating on the four immeasurables for a moment. Om Sawa Shura Sawa Dhamma Sawa Shuro Hum. Out of emptiness from the syllable pam comes a white lotus. From a moon disk, on top of which is my own consciousness in the form of a white syllable tum, emanating rays of light. The light collects back, and there becomes venerable wish-fulfilling wheel, yourself if you have the empowerment, or at your crown, or at her heart if you don't. She has a white body, one face, and two arms. Right hand is in the gesture of supreme giving. Left hand at the heart holds between the thumb and ring finger the stem of an utpala flower that blossoms at the level of the right ear. It has three blossoms, the center one in full bloom, the right one having already blossomed and gone to fruit, the left not yet opened. These symbolize the Buddhas of the three times. I'm adorned with jeweled ornaments and clad in various silken garments. The upright body is supported by a moon disk, and she is seated in the Vajra posture. At Tara's crown is a white Om, at her throat a red Ah, at her heart a blue Hum. At the heart a moon disk, the white syllable Tam, which emanates rays of light, inviting from Patala, Buddha field in the south, venerable wish-fulfilling wheels surrounded by an assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Za Bam Ho. They become non-dual. Again, rays of light emanate from the syllable at my heart, inviting the initiating deities. Please bestow on me the initiation. Om Savatata Gata Bishakata Samaya Shriya Om. Body is filled, purifying all stains. The excess nectar overflowing from the crown transforms into Buddha Amitabha. So just take a minute and stabilize either yourself as Tara, if you have the empowerment, or Tara above your crown, if you don't, or yourself at her heart. Just clarify where and how the visualization is, however many details you can hold. Everything in the nature of transparent light, living and three-dimensional, palpably present. And we bless the offerings if you have the empowerment. Otherwise, you think the blessings are being done on your behalf. Om Vajramritai Kundali Hana Hana Humpe. Om Sawa Shuddha Sawa Dhamma Sawa Shuddho Om. Out of emptiness, from 8 Om syllables, appear spacious, extensive jeweled vessels, inside of which the syllables Om transform into different offering substances, which are clear, unobstructed, and as extensive as space. Om Bhadyamai Hum Om Bhadyamai Hum Om Bhujmaya Hum Om Jupaya Hum Om Helikaya Hum Om Gandeya Hum Om Nudaya Hum Om Shapta I Hum Om Hayatare Sapari Wari Yam Padyam Bhujme Duape Aloke Gende Nude Shabda Pradisahum Soha. I prostrate to Mother Tara, the liberator of beings from existence, the one who liberates from the 8 worldly fears with Tutare, freeing from all illnesses with Ture, all the wisdom and activities of compassion of the extensive Buddhas, appearing in the form of the extremely beautiful goddess, bestowing longevity and supreme attainments to a great number of beings. I prostrate to the one who is extremely white and holds an utpala in her hand. At the center of myself visualized as Aryatara, or the one at your crown, or yourself at the center, is an 8-spoked wheel with a hub and 3 rims. At the center, on a moon disk, is my own mind, as a white tom encircled by the mantra for increase. Om Tare Tutare Ture Mama Arya Punyanjana Pushtam Kuruye Soha. On the 8 spokes are the 8 syllables, Tare Tutare Ture Soha. On the inner rim, the vowels are placed counterclockwise. Om a a I u ri ri li li I a om a so ha. In the middle rim, the consonants are arranged clockwise. Om ka 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 nga, cha 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 nya, ta 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 na, ta 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 na, pa 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 ma, yara lawa, sha 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 ha sha so ha. On the outer rim is the mantra of the essence of dependent arising, arranged clockwise. Om Yedama Hetu Prabhava Hetun Tezon Tatagato Hayavada Tezon Chayo Niroda Evambadi Mahashramane Soha. The seed syllable and all the letters of the mantra are in the nature of light. Dewdrops of nectar stream forth from the letters. So stabilize the layers of mantras, the wheel and the spokes. All standing upright, all in the nature of light. And whether they come clearly or not, feel that the essence of these mantras is present. And then shift the focus to the crown. At my crown is the Lord of the family, Lord Amitayus, red in color, with 1 face and 2 arms, holding a golden vase filled with the nectar of immortality. He sits in the gesture of meditative equipoise, clad in silk and jeweled ornaments. He sits in the Vajra position. So take a moment and stabilize Amitayus at the crown of your head, one in nature with all of your teachers, radiant red, perfectly kind. And with awareness of Amitayus at your crown, Revisit those times that you feel life force has been lost, either through delusions, afflictions, or through trauma, danger, worries. And let yourself ask for support in hooking back all of that life force, speaking to him in your mind. This enlightened being sees you with perfect compassion, free from judgment. He is adorned at the heart with a red syllable Hri, from which hook-like red rays of light emanate in all directions, collecting back all of my life energies that have been robbed, stolen, or caused to be taken away, or scattered by human and non-human beings, as well as the essence of the 5 great elements and the life energies and merits of all living beings, the brilliance and dignity of the 3 worlds, and so forth. Just being with the hooking red light rays, bringing it all back, all the wealth and goodness of existence, of the blessings of the body, speech, and mind of the Guru, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas are collected back in the form of nectar and rays of light in different colors and absorb into the vase at Amitayas's hands. The red light going out, rainbow light coming back, filling the vase, absorbing into the vase. All of that life force coming back. By this absorption, the white nectar overflows and enters into my crown opening. And if you have the empowerment, it absorbs into the wheel, mantra, and seed syllable at the heart. And if not, it absorbs in general. Rays of nectar flow down, filling my entire body. So just be with that white nectar overflowing, coming through the crown of your head, filling your entire body with vitality, with strength. My outer body is washed. The accumulation of unwholesome imprints and obscurations, illnesses, disturbances, and obstacles of life are cleansed and purified, thus restoring my life energies, merits, and broken vows and commitments, and I attain the city of immortality. And adding the mantra for increase. Tare tu ture mama hayu punyanjana pushtam guru soha. Tare tu ture mama hayu punyanjana pushtam guru soha. Tare tu ture mama hayum punyanjana pushtam guru soha. Om tare, ture mama hayu bunyan jana pushtam kure soha. Om tare, ture mama hayu bunyan jana pushtam kure soha. Outside of myself is a white wheel made of space iron, with space inside like two hats joined together. The 10 spokes, above, below, and in the 8 directions, have very sharp points turning clockwise and at extremely fast speed, thereby cutting into pieces all obstacles. Tongues of flames of light rays burn and swirl, and thus all disturbing forces are completely burnt like feathers burnt in fire. Think thus. Again, from the wheel and mantras at the heart, white rays of light emanate, filling my entire body, pacifying illness, disturbances, obscurations, unwholesome imprints, and all obstacles to life. The rays of light go out of the pores of my body and form a white circle of light outside of myself, bringing about the accomplishment of all peaceful activities. Again, yellow rays of light emanate, filling my body, bringing about an increase of life, merit, and the wisdoms of hearing, contemplation, and meditation. The light radiates out, forming a yellow circle outside the white circle, bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of increase. Again, red rays of light emanate, endowing me with the power and energy to bring the 3 worlds under my control. The light radiates out, forming a red circle outside of the yellow circle, bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of control. Again, dark blue rays of light emanate, endowing me with the power and energy to achieve all activities of destruction. The lights radiate out, forming a blue circle of light outside the red circle, bringing about the accomplishment of the activities of destruction. Again, green rays of light emanate, endowing me with the power to achieve all enlightened activities. Lights radiate out, forming a green circle of light outside the blue circle, bringing about the accomplishment of all enlightened activities. Again, brown rays of light emanate, bringing about stability of the power of the activities and attainments. The light radiates out, forming a brown circle outside the green circle, bringing about stability. All these 6 circles are egg-shaped and of one single piece, very hard and strong, and cannot be destroyed even by the winds at the end of existence. All the space between each circle is filled with fresh, newly blossomed blue Tapala flowers, soft and tender. Having generated yourself in the form of Lady Tara, or Lady Tara at your crown, or yourself at her center, hold yourself there in that form while generating the protective wheel in 6 light circle. Keep your mind fixed on this visualization. And add the mantra, Om Tare Tutare Turi Soha. 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 Tari tu tari turi soham, tari tu tari turi soham, tari tu tari. Om tari tu tari turi soha. And purifying any mistakes. Om Padmasapha Samaya Manupalaya Padmasapha Deno Bodhisha Dido Me Bawa Sudokaya Me Bawa Supokaya Me Bawa Anarakto Me Bawa Sawa Siddhi Me Prayatsa Sawa Kama Sutta Me Siddham Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Padma Mame Mutta Padma Bawa Mahasamaya Safa Ahum Pe. Whatever mistakes I have made because of not knowing or lacking ability or not finding the proper materials, please be patient with these. Om Aryatari Sapari Wariyai Gyam Padyam Kyujme Aduape Aloke Gande Nude Shapta Pratisahum Soha. All the wisdom and activities and compassion of the extensive Buddhas, appearing in the form of the extremely beautiful goddess, bestowing longevity and supreme attainments to a great number of beings, I praise the one who is extremely white and holds an utpala in her hand. Through this merit collected by this practice, may I quickly attain the state of wish-fulfilling wheel, and may I lead all living beings without exception to her state of enlightenment, thus dedicating the roots of merit. And you can relax your attention. Okay, thank you, everyone. And next week, we'll look a little bit at the enlightened activities and those layers of light and a little bit more about what that's all about. And looking forward to it. So have a great rest of your night. Nice to see you all.
Thank you, Venerable Yönten.
Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you, Venerable.